Hey, superstars. How are you? How are you? How are you? All right, let's get into it. Let me make sure we're going live on Instagram in hopes that it saves. All right, so my name is Tandra Ray, and I am the creative consultant with Cultivated Connections Design and Consulting, where I help serve arts educators and general educators with bringing in more creative, beautiful learning experiences inside of their classrooms. I'm excited about today's topic. Okay. I'm so excited about today's topic. Our topic for today, if you have not seen it on the descriptions or what have you, the topic for today is how to reignite your creative spark as an educator, an arts educator specifically. Everybody might need this because we do have some gen ed creatives. Okay, we all are a little creative, and I just wanted to, get in here and share with y'all just like some tips, some things, some thoughts that I have when it comes to fostering your own creativity as an arts educator, especially in this season as the school year is closing out. Um, for some of us, it has closed all the way out. For other people, they're still in. So, how do we still hold on to this act of creativity? If you're just joining me, let me know if you can hear me in the comments by saying, yes, I can hear you, or put an ear or something indicating that I know you can hear me, because my computer has been acting up. I think it's telling me, girl, it's time to reset. I think that's what it's telling me. I think that is what it's telling me. All right, let's get into it. Instagram never notifies me of who is actually like watching or on or what have you. Oh, that's weird. We're gonna roll with it. Instagram's being weird again. Anyway, so let's go. Everyone I know who has, I'm not gonna say everyone, but a lot of people that I know who have served as arts educators, especially in the K-12 setting, has oftentimes says, I don't have time to create my own things, or I don't feel creative anymore. I feel like I've lost my creativity, things like that. And I know one thing I can definitely say is I've experienced that as well throughout my entire 15 plus years of teaching. 13 of those years have been in public education. I remember sharing with a friend of mine that I hadn't, like, prior to attending the different conferences and things like that, I hadn't attended dance classes in I don't know how long prior to that. If you're watching, let me know you're watching by telling me yes, I can hear you, because I'm unsure if anybody can hear me right now. But anyway, and I remember sharing that with her, and she was like, "Girl, why? Like, that's crazy. This is what you do, and your whole reason why you got into it is to teach others dance. But how are you fostering that for yourself?" And for a while there, like, I was not fostering anything for itself. Like, I was not. Um, and it took me attending conferences to realize that I was actually pouring from an empty cup. It took that where I realized, like, no, girl, you are legit like pouring from an empty cup. You are not fostering your own creativity. You just not. And I find that that is a commonality across with a lot of arts educators who are in the K-12 setting and are not actively and are not like doing things outside of that setting. We're pouring all of our energy into, giving into our building our programs, writing curriculum, and all the other duties that we have as a educator inside of a system. We're all are educators. I'm a firm believer of that. Like, we all are educators. So if the child needs you over here in this way, you go that way, right? But with that being said, like, sometimes our own creativity gets lost. It really does get lost. It's to the point that sometimes being creative feels like a job. It really does. As a person who has, you know, not spoken, but who has have had a long career in the K-12 setting, as well as a creative career outside of the K-12 setting, I can definitely say there are some times where people have asked me like, "Can you choreograph whatever, whatever?" And I'm like it starts to feel like a job because it is a job. It feels like a chore, and it starts to take that joy out of the work that you do, right? So, I'm talking today about like how do you reignite that spark, especially in this summer season. Like I'm inspired by everything. I can be honest about that, but how can we be like intentional about this act of inspiration and all that it is that we do and see? Okay, my bad, y'all. I am also on live on Instagram, and Instagram has been acting up here lately. So let's try it again. Okay. So, like, nobody ever says to us, especially as creative educators or educators in general, like, when you're feeling stuck, tired, you're just over it, that it doesn't mean you have to, like, reduce your creativity. It simply means, like, yo, chick, you are running on fumes. You are exhausted. Let's do something about that. Okay. So I want to, kind of speak to like some things that I've experienced. If you've experienced these things, let me know in the comments, like engage with me. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced these things. Like there was a point where creativity just like flowed. It just flowed out of your bones, out of your body with the quickness. It just came out. It oozed out, right? But like now it feels like everything has to serve a greater purpose. It has to go towards your programming. It has to go towards um, this product is no longer just about this experience that you're having with yourself, right? And that is something that happens when we choose to use our creativity to also serve us in life as a job, right? You're pouring out to everyone else, leaving no time to create for you. Like there was a moment where I was choreographing things and creating lesson plans for everything and everybody else, but I wasn't doing things for me, just pouring into me, like coloring. I wasn't doing none of that. You have ideas. I have a whole bunch of ideas. I got a notebook full of ideas, but like you just don't have time to like create the space to make said idea, to paint said idea. Like, I don't know if y'all can see it. Maybe on this side, y'all probably can't see it. But I have like 5 canvases, blank, large canvases that I have these beautiful ideas that I want to create and paint. But prior to summertime, I hadn't had a chance to do that. And I'm pushing in all of you all who are watching to make and carve out time in this season. You don't have to wait till summer like I did to re-engage your creativity, okay? What I need for you to do is shift that energy. Here's what I know is that creativity moves in seasons. There are times where you're just like, oh my gosh, it's pouring, it's blooming, it's doing all those things. But what happens is, what happened was, we don't give our creativity space to rest, especially if you're actively doing this work every day in some shape, form, or fashion. We do not give our creativity a sense of rest. We have creative seasons, and I want to tell you what they are, okay? So I think there's 4. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I wanted to make sure my notes are what they say they are. But you have this like the season of sowing. It's where you're learning, absorbing, ideating, like those things like that. I think about like in college or even before college, but specifically me in college when I was taking all these different dance classes and I was learning all these new different things and these different dance styles and these different people. And I was like legit like absorbing these different techniques, Feldenkrais and Alexander technique and Martha Graham technique. And I just like felt so inspired to learn and create and absorb and all that jazz, right? But I wasn't, like, to be honest, I wasn't doing a lot of creating. I had one dance composition class at the time, and we did do some creating, but it wasn't like a lot, right? Um, and then I remember like going into the school system a little bit later, not my first year. First year, I was still creating heavily, right? Because I was creating freaking curriculum. However, as time started to go on, I stopped this act of learning new things. Like I felt like I was in this rut of I'm only going to not I'm only like it just kind of happened because life happens, life be life, right? But it ended up where I was not, like I mentioned earlier, taking the dance classes. I wasn't learning anything new at the time. I wasn't watching like videos, choreography videos for self. Everything that I was looking and absorbing was things that I needed to use for my lessons, right? So I just kind of had lost this spark of sewing, if you will, this curiosity. And it wasn't until 2023, I believe. Hold on, let me think. 24 was Seattle. So 23, yes. When I went to a NDEO conference. So if you're a dancer, we do, or a dance educator, I'm a part of the National Dance Educators Association, organization. And we have a conference every single year. And this particular year, and I've mentioned this on here before, this particular year, I ended up as a Denver, Colorado. So it's 2023. And I ended up taking this class that was centered around the African ring shout, something that I had shared with my students a few years back. And I only knew what I had read on like the internet and in books. I had never actually experienced a ring shout. So this threw me back into this season of sewing of, oh my goodness, I'm learning something new. And it's something that I really wanted to learn and that I really wanted to experience. And it was absolutely amazing. So make sure if you are on Instagram, follow Moving in Spirit on Instagram. She shares so much and she does so much in the communities that she's a part of. We're sharing things about dance and from the African diaspora. And I took that class with her and it was amazing. And I felt whole and inspired and ready to learn again. So the season of sewing, like be curious. The next season is the season of blooming, where the ideas are flowing, the projects are on and popping, like you are in the zone. You were like gunning in. You're there, right? This is more like about outward and expression, and everything is just making sense and it's clicking. Then you have the season of shedding, okay? And I feel like that's where I am right now in this season of shedding, of you're editing, you're refining things, you're realizing like some of this stuff just don't fit. For instance, as a dancer who is aging, some of the things that I used to do way back when, I can't do them no more. I don't even feel creatively tied to those things anymore. So you will have those seasons of shedding, right? Then I think I'm teetering in this space of shedding and rest. I'm not gonna lie to you. This season of rest, like this is the one that we are most resistant to. We don't want to take the time away from the creative job that we're doing or anything of that nature to rest, to restore, to heal, to quiet our minds, to purge, all of those different things. With purging will probably go more so in the shedding season. But we don't take that time to do that. We are scared that if we do take this moment, this time to rest, that we will lose all those ideas and things like that. No. Most of the time, what happens is we are actually giving ourselves time to root for the next best beautiful thing, whether it's an idea, a project, a job, or what have you. Okay. So y'all always know your girl is gonna give you some strategies, right? Strategies to reignite your creativity, your creative spark as an arts educator. First things first, we got to get back to creating without a reason to. Like just create because you want to. Not because there's a lesson coming up, not because there's a show, not because we just need this product or we're trying to network and sell ourselves for grant money, right? Sometimes you just need to move your body. Sometimes you just need to draw. Sometimes you just need to dance. Sometimes you just need to play the scales on the piano. Sometimes you just need to just do the things and rebuild your trust in your own creativity. We as creatives, we are the worst enemy for ourselves because we are always thinking about that, oh, this wasn't good, or this could be better, this, that, and the other. And that comes even more as you begin to be in the different systems, the school systems, and all the different systems when you're constantly critiqued about the things that you do and that you share, especially when there's students involved. So you need to take the time to just rebuild this trust and creativity within said self, okay? Also, take in before you put out. I have been doing this very strategically here recently about just like being very conscious about watching more dance just because I love dance. Like that's my thing. Looking at pictures and like as y'all can see, I have a lot of books, but not reading the books right now because that's a lot. But even just looking at the covers of the books and the backs of the books, or and learning more about the inspiration, like just taking in different things to inspire you. Someone else's like brilliance will definitely support and feed you. My husband and I just recently was watching a documentary on, I think it was on Tubi. It was either Tubi or Amazon Prime about Lake Lanier. And as we was watching this documentary, because we love documentaries, one of the interviewees was just really sharing about her experience, like she almost drowned or what have you, and she saw like trees underneath the water. And as I was watching this, of course, my creative brain was just popping off. In research brain was just like, oh my gosh. I just started instantly thinking about like all this imagery and art that can be created, or probably actually has been created about this lake. And then as she continues to talk, she starts to share. And I'm a history person. I love learning about history, Black history especially. Sharing about Oscarville, Georgia, and I had never heard of it. So of course, it sent me down another rabbit hole. And of course, as a creative, I'm seeing these things and the things that I'm reading in pictures and choreography and all of this stuff in poetry, like all these different ideas just started popping in my head. Why? Because I just took the time to pause and feel inspired by something, and it was just really a really well, the video was traumatic. The documentary and the experience was just like, oh my gosh, you actually went through that. But it did make me feel inspired to learn more, to observe more, to see what art is actually already created about this particular scenario, right? I just had to share that with y'all because it did come up in my brain. But the next thing is I just share with y'all the different seasons that there are. You got the season of sowing, so this learning things, blooming, you're outwardly expressing things, shedding, need I say more, you're getting rid of, and realigning yourself, and rest. I don't have to explain that one, right? So you need to ask yourself, what season am I in right now? If are you in the rest season? Like right now, I really feel like I am in the shedding and the rest season. It's not time to sprint. It's not time to push. It's just simply time to rest and let things cultivate. Okay. Are you in the blooming season? So if you are, ride that wave, but be intentional. Okay. Ride that wave. Your job as a creative educator or creative isn't to create 24/7. That's not why we're here. And, I'm a believer. I don't, the Lord took rest. Okay. Right. God took a day of rest. So do that as well. Take rest if you need to. And don't be afraid of it because beautiful things come out of rest. All right. So, y'all know I got to give you your do's and your don'ts, okay? Let me know in the comments, before we move on, let me know in the comments What season are you in? If you are in the season of sowing, I want you to put, I'm trying to think of the emojis. Put a heart. If you are in the season of blooming, put a flower. I don't care what flower. If you are in the season of shedding, put an X. I'm thinking of the emojis. If you are in the season of rest, put the sleepy emoji. Okay. Okay. Let's see if y'all remember that. Gotcha. I'm like super excited to see what y'all say. And I need to do this as a recap as well. But anyway, okay. Season of shedding. We got this X. I feel you. I feel you. Yes. Same X. And I would put it probably like the rest emoji, the sleepy emoji. So now my next thing is I'm gonna give you some do's and don'ts, right? What I want you to do is find joy in small creative acts. Okay. Today, I can't move my computer, but today I found some stickers and I was like, I'm gonna put stickers all over my laptop, which I already had some on there, but I had this big empty space and I was just like, I like this sticker and I'm gonna put this here and put this here. I just had the time of my life. If y'all know me personally, I love decorating planners and like scrapbooking, especially in the digital space, which I will share more on these pages. I spent some time doing that this morning of just like journaling, especially because I'm trying to be more conscious about what is my body saying to me? What is my brain saying to me? What is my heart and my soul saying to me? So I spent some time this morning, maybe about 15 minutes, just journaling. And, nothing necessarily creative and outrageous, but it just felt good to express, right? I'm always dancing around the house. So that's something that always happens. I love sitting outside just to see, like I said, I'm a believer of Christ. So just to look at the Lord's creation, hear the birds singing and chirping and all of that, like I'm that girl. So do that, okay? I also want you to revisit what first sparked you to do this work in this industry, whether you are in a private sector, the K-12 sector, higher ed, whatever it is. What inspired you to do this work at first? I love sharing the story of why I started to do this work. And it was just to help children, people learn more. Well, rewind. Help people have more creative experiences with like academics and things like that, but through the arts, through this act of creativity, like learning can be fun. And because that's how I learned. And that I had such an amazing experience with that with one of my teachers. And just to see like all the sparks that goes off in adults and children's eyes and ears, like I have to bring myself back to that often, right? So do that. Even if you got to write it down, journal it, or what have you, ensure that you're doing that. Like what sparked you to do this work in this way? Okay. But also, what sparks you just to be creative? Okay. So, yes, I was kind of speaking from the teacher lens, but what sparked you to be creative? Creativity has always been my safe space, and I will happily share those stories at a later time. But creativity has always been my safe space. I don't remember a time where I was not creative. Right. So, it's where I feel creativity is meditation to me. It is peace to me. It is like a warm blanket. Like I can go on and on about what creativity means to me, and why I love it. Like it's a relationship builder. My father was a creative, like he's a self-taught artist. So it was something that we connected on. My mom and aunts and all of those amazing humans used to love dancing. They've been a part of dance team. So that was something that we connected on. So you have to remember, why do you even love doing the thing that you do? Like, yes, we got the grand scheme of things, but why? Right? So you got your dues. You got to get your dues. Let's hit the don'ts. What I don't want you to do is measure your worth by how much you can produce. Period. What I don't want you to do is judge your current season based off of somebody else's season. Like somebody else may be producing all of these different things, but you might not be in this season of bloom. You may be right where I am, is in this season of shedding and season of rest, and that is okay. Stop comparing. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel in the comments. You feel good? If you feel good, give me the breath emoji, that emoji. How you feeling? Do you feel inspired or what have you? I want y'all to normalize the ebbs and flows of life, the ebbs and flow of your creativity. I just need y'all to just like breathe. Okay. All right, my love. So if you want some doses and strategies of just like how to reignite your love, your passion, refill your creative cup as an arts educator and creative, make sure y'all add yourself to my email list, okay? I have been sitting here jotting down some notes that I wanted to share with y'all, and I plan on sending something to y'all a little bit later. But yeah, your spark isn't gone. It's just waiting on you to make space for it. Y'all have a great day. Be amazing. Be blessed. Be creative. Peace out. Yay. I love that.